Today we're going to be reviewing 7 amazing high quality and high value watches that you can buy right now on Amazon and elsewhere. Hi everybody, I'm Olivier. And in this channel we review these kind of watches that are excellent value that you can buy for very small prices. If that is something that you like, don't forget to subscribe to the channel by hitting on the button right down. And I'm gonna be leaving the links to these watches on the description of the video. And of course I have made reviews of many of these watches, so you will find the reviews right underneath as well. We are going to be reviewing the watches from the least to the most expensive, and the least expensive is one of my favorite ever watches. It is a cult classic actually. It is the Casio A168 that I've had for a long time. As I said, this watch is pretty much a legend alongside the 158, but it is better. It far exceeds the 158 for many reasons. First of all, well, like the 158, it is a metal bracelet construction. The case also has metal finishings, although it is not metal, but for the back. Dimensions wise, you've got a 35mm in width by only 38 in length and only 9.3mm thick and only 58 grams in weight. This is a true lightweight that is unisex. It will go well for men or women. Functionality wise, you've got an alarm, a stopwatch, and that's it. Of course you will also show the date, but that is pretty much all that you get. The difference with the 158 is that this one has much better luminescence, which Casio calls electroluminescence, which is amazing once you see it in the dark. That would be its great selling point, alongside the fact that it is, well, pretty much a legend, and you can have this absolutely classic watch for the price of a little bit more than the price of one McDonald's meal. You can have it for $22 right now. The downside compared to the 158 is that it's gonna be a little bit thicker. Some people do not like and prefer the 158 because of that reason. Moving on, and you will notice that I have many of these watches. I do put my money where my mouth is, and this is the Seiko SWR049, also known as the Cartier Homage. And once you see this watch, it is very hard to distinguish it from a Cartier tank. Dimensions wise, you've got a width of 28.4mm by a length of 31mm. It is only 6.4mm thick, so very thin, and it weighs only 19 grams. It is a true lightweight, and it wears wonderfully and very elegantly on the wrist. It is therefore absolutely wearable, and it allows you to have all the elegance of a Cartier for a very small fraction of the price. And when I say small, I say 1%, something like that, because this one comes at $139. It is of course a quartz movement in here, but you would not notice it because it doesn't have a second hand. The leaf hands are very beautiful and it is very well executed. The head is all made of stainless steel, and you also have a kind of stone in the crown, like the watch that it copies, some would say. And that would be my first gripe with it. It is not original at all. The design is one-to-one the design of a Cartier tank. And yeah, I really wish that Seiko would have put a little bit of originality here, especially because they are a brand that can actually do that. You also have only a mineral crystal in here. Well, for that price you cannot really ask for sapphire, especially from Seiko, but yeah, I would have liked that anyway. For the next watch of the selection, Seiko keeps on redeeming itself in this video compared to my previous video where they announced a watch, a Seiko 5 for $400. Here I've got an SRPE55, a very elegant Gara watch, so go anywhere, do anything watch, for under $200 at only $199. The good thing about this watch is the size. You've right under 40mm in diameter. You also have bracelet that is not spectacular, but that is not bad as well, with full links but a pressed clasp. It builds on the SKX vibe with the crown at 430. It is though a little bit more elegant than the SKX, with smaller, more delicate hands, as a Gara watch should be. The luminescence is very good also though. This is a great everyday watch that you can have for under $200. One of the greatest from a mainstream brand. Inside you've got the automatic Seiko 4R36 in here with a date complication. On the same vibe and only a little bit more expensive, you've got the SRPD SRPD51 in here, the blue version for under $230. That is great because I seldom see this watch so inexpensive. And you've got same thing, the 4R36 in here, the same kind of bracelet as well, but this one keeps the same form factor as the famous SKX, so 42.5 millimeters in diameter and a little bit over 13 millimeters thick. You do not have a sapphire crystal in here, you did not have a sapphire crystal in the SRPE either. No screw down crown as well, so this is just a watch that gives you 100 meters water resistance, but you do get some bang per buck in here with very good luminescence as well. Seiko Lumibright does a great job in here. So a very good watch also to take into account. If you can have this kind of watches for less than 250, it is a good deal. Moving on, we go to a watch that people have been talking about a lot right now. It is the Casio G-Shock GST B600. And why people are talking a lot about this watch and why is it so talked about? Well, because it is a metal G-Shock that is really wearable, contrary to what we've had before. We've had your Casios, we've had your G-Squares that were expensive, quite expensive, over $500 retail, but they were large, very large. This one corrects that and gives you a G-Shock for the first time that is 42 millimeters at its highest width, but when you measure it at the point of the bezel, it is only 38 millimeters. So you've got the impression of wearing a 38 millimeter G-Shock, which is wonderful. You only have 41 millimeters log to log and 47 millimeters in end-link to end-link, which is the same measure as the Rolex Submariner in log to log. The thickness is only 11.1 millimeters and it weighs a bit less than 120 grams. So a very, very wearable watch, the one that wears very well on the wrist. And the functionality, as you could expect, is of course there with a date, 5 alarms, a stopwatch, a countdown timer, and you also have amazing luminescence in here. It does have Bluetooth functionality. The positive points of this watch, of course, you've got a truly wearable G-Shock, metallic G-Shock. It might be one of the first times that I've seen this. And it comes less expensive at retail than the metallic G-Shocks or even the Casios. Here on this offer, it comes at only $355, which is not really cheap, but it is less expensive than full metallic G-Shocks used to be. The luminescence is also really good, and it even has some lume on the hour and minute hand. On the negative sides, it only has mineral crystal. At this price point, I really would have expected sapphire, and I noticed that the glass is a little bit noisy. I would have preferred it to be a little bit more silent. More on that when I do the full review of this watch very soon. Last on the list, the Bulova Lunar Pilot. The Lunar Pilot is an extremely well-known watch, a historic watch, alongside with the famous Omega Moonwatch. It is one of the only watches that has been worn on the moon. Inside you have a high-frequency quartz module, ensuring a very high accuracy within a few seconds per year. When you start the chronograph hand, you also have a very cool and quick sweep of the 100th second counter hands. You also have a sapphire crystal, and at $373, this watch is very good value. The negative points is that it is very large. I have reviewed this watch, so do check the review on the description below. That's it for the review. If it was useful to you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. Thank you very much. Here I'm going to be leaving you with other videos that you will find interesting, other reviews that can be useful to you. Thanks again, and I'll be seeing you very soon. Goodbye.